our comments have exploded.
Through the roof.
So there you go.
Hey, welcome back.
I am happy to be back. It's almost 6 months to the date, my friend.
It's crazy. When we said 6 months in the pre-show, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You've been through one heck of a 6 months stretch of time, my friend.
It has, yeah. I guess maybe we should give our watchers. I haven't forgot that word.
That's a word we haven't heard around here in 6 months.
Yeah, well, I haven't been on the show. I haven't been on the show to butcher the English language.
We've pronounced every word completely correctly.
Yeah.
For the last
Probably
6
used
months.
commas appropriately. Didn't sprinkle them in the way Christopher Walken vocalizes them, right?
Now but we have missed the banter. We have missed the banter.
Yeah,
I mean, people have just been listening to me drone on and on. That's
Lancaster Connects without the banter. Is it even a show? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so. But we've had some wonderful guests. But yeah, go ahead. Well,
it's interesting how the universe provides, right? And so it's almost 6 months to the day. It's 5 months, 3 weeks, I guess, of episodes. We did our show November 25th. We got done our show. My wife calls me and says, "Hey, I'm not feeling good. Need to go to the hospital." And to make a very, very, very long story short, my wife unfortunately had some damage done to her at the one hospital. It spiraled out of control. She spent 60 days thereabouts at Hershey Med Center from being transferred from the first hospital. And then, some recurrent infections, the need for 3 more surgeries, inpatient rehabs, I think 3 stints of that. It's been all consuming, and by the grace of God, she's home. We seem to have stable ground. No more. We are 6 weeks now, maybe coming into 7 weeks without infection. Recurrent infection, which has been the biggest issues.
Mm-hmm.
And she's able to sleep in her own bed, which, is great because we're a family that likes a good bed. Imagine that. That's co-owner and co-queen of Gardner's Mattress and More, right? Although we had a nice bed downstairs. It's always nice. The hospital was amazed that I could make that happen that fast.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, yeah, I know a guy."
Yeah.
And, it's been a journey. It has been a journey that I didn't want. I feel like I'm a third of the man I used to be because I've lost a bunch of weight. I look at
You're looking great, man.
Opening. Yeah. I gained a beard, or what I call a beard.
Some gray in there. Yeah.
That was the No Shave November that stuck.
Yep. Looks good.
And we're back. And it's fitting. I walked out of Hershey Med Center all throughout the holidays. And I was grateful because as I'm walking by the children's hospital, it's not my kid that's in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, in the mornings I would walk past the cancer hospital and the cancer, big cancer building. I forget who it's named after. And I was grateful because it's like, well, my wife doesn't have cancer. My wife's in the middle and she'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get through this. And this is a moment. And it's interesting how the universe provides that this first show back would be with Aaron's Acres because, Steph didn't have a choice. My wife didn't have a choice to get sick, but we knew with certainty, at least a decent amount of certainty, she'd be better. It got scary a little bit there around the holidays. It got really scary.
Mm-hmm. I remember. Yeah.
But even then, we kind of had a degree of certainty that we would return to a normal. And I would just challenge Lancaster and anybody watching that take count of just how blessed you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That person that cut you off, don't let it ruin your day. That wasn't some grand scheme to ruin your day.
Mm-hmm.
Even the moment you're in, the season you're in, it might be just a moment of circumstance. It might be a moment of poor choice. It might be a moment of good choice that you thought was good that turned out bad. But it's all in your control. It's all in his control. It's all going to get better and will be better. And we got the wonderful people at Aaron's Acres with us today. And the children and the young adults they serve, they don't have that certainty per se.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Themselves and their families were dealt a hand, and there's no doubt there's still joy and there's still blessing in the hands that they were dealt, but it wouldn't be a hand you would choose.
Yeah.
And Kate, and with that, I think we'd bring them on. Kate and Risa, right? Ben, I'm a little out of tune. Is it time to bring them? Oh, they're on.
Well, I was just going to say, well, hello, Risa and Kate. How are you both?
Good. Good. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I'm messing it up already.
No, it's all good. I just wanted to say, Jeff, that we've been thinking and praying for Steph and you guys and your family and your boys with, all you've been through. Happy to have you back with us here today. Hello to Steph if she happens to be watching from what she's doing there. But
now's her nap one, so maybe she's watching. Or
all right, yep. Well, we'll put her to sleep. Maybe I don't know. But it's great to have you back on the show, and really, we're all thrilled that she's on the mend. So praying that continues.
Thank you.
So, great segue into our guest. I'll just read a little intro snippet about our guests here. Actually, they're two-timers on the show. In the pre-show, we went back and looked from a few years ago, episode 34 of Lancaster Connects. If you want to watch that past episode, you can go to lancasterconnects.com, click on the episodes tab. You'll see all the past episodes there. Episode 34 was their first visit. So at Lancaster Connects, we are thrilled to welcome back Kate Mullen and Risa Paskoff. Kate is a director of development and community relations at Aaron's Acres, and Risa is the executive director. Aaron's Acres provides year-round innovative recreational programs for children and young adults with disabilities, all in a fully supportive, inclusive environment. Kate and Risa join us to share exciting updates, upcoming events, and how the organization continues to grow its impact across Lancaster and beyond. Again, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Jeff, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I guess for people who didn't catch the first time with you all here being on the show, tell us the mission, right? Like recap what we do, the services you provide for those children and young adults who spend time with Aaron's Acres, be that in person. I guess you do you'll tell us if you do some virtual stuff, but just tell us about the people you serve.
Right. So our belief is that all children, regardless of ability or disability, should engage in meaningful recreational programs. So at Aaron's Acres, we provide year-round recreational programs to individuals with disabilities. We've been in existence for 27 years, and in the 27 years, we've never turned away a child or an individual because of a disability or because of any financial limitation. So we take children who have seizure disorders, we take children who use wheelchairs, who are nonverbal, who have cognitive challenges, behavioral challenges, and physical challenges. We have kids with trachs, with feeding tubes. So everyone, their needs can be met immediately and appropriately. So throughout the year, we have, during the summer, we have a camp program. And then during the year, we have monthly programs where the kids are engaging in different types of activities. During the summer, it's swimming and fitness and music and group games and crafts. During the year, they're going out, to Hershey Park. They're going to a corn maze, miniature golf, bowling. So it's typical activities that you and I would do, but we just provide more of that support on a regular basis.
Jeff, I recall, I think it was right after the last time that Risa and Kate were on, we went to one of the summer camp programs at was it the Ephrata Pool?
We're at the New Holland Community.
New Holland, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a powerful day. We just spent maybe an hour or two there, witnessing the programs in action. But it was powerful seeing the participants and what you do with them and what they were able to do in the pool.
I think, whenever we have visitors that come, they comment about, I didn't think I'd see your kids in the pool, especially seeing a child in a wheelchair. And then in the pool, looking like you and I would in a raft and splashing and just as obnoxious as every other kid that's in the pool. Seeing a kid riding a horse. We're able to do that because of our staff to child ratio. We have a one-on-one or 1-to-2 staff-child ratio. So a parent will say, my kid's a runner. You know, how are you going to manage, especially at camp? We're outdoors. There's no wall, there's no building. And we can very comfortably say, if your kid's running, our staff is getting a great workout. So
And match them up with the runner.
you know, for a kid who needs a break, you know, he does maybe music therapy and sings 2 songs, but then he needs a break. That staff person can take him for a break. Everybody else can continue, and that child can have his needs met and then, you know, rejoin the group. We have the supervisory staff for all people that have the training, the background, the knowledge in working with kids with varying abilities and disabilities. And then we have nurses.
Yeah. Yeah. I recall from that time, just in a word, joy.
Right.
The kids just, you saw it, you felt it, you heard it. You know, parents on the sidelines watching, joy. Yeah, it was very cool. Very cool to see you all bring that to those kids.
Yeah, we hear from, you know, individuals who come and visit us at camp or volunteer taking photography at camp. You know, often they'll comment to us, you know, I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought maybe it wouldn't be a joyful place. Maybe, you know, I would see the kids that you serve and, you know, maybe I would be seeing their difficulties. But, you know, then, you know, when we talk to them after, you know, I would say 100% of them, you know, share that they just were, like you said, just so happy to see that so much joy, so much magic happening. There's so many smiles, so much laughter. You know, it's your typical camp experience. You know, we're just kind of doing things in maybe different ways and supporting our campers in different ways, but still kids having a great time together and being with friends and enjoying lots of different activities. So you're right. It's very joyful for sure.
That's fantastic. So since, you know, it's been a few years, what has Aaron's Acres been able to accomplish over the last 3 years? Maybe new programs, new initiatives, new milestones met. Let's get an update from the last few years.
I'll describe it on a bigger scale, and then Kate's going to go into more
Yeah.
detail, but we're very excited. So, you know, years ago, parents would say to us, the school bus stops coming when my child finishes high school, and that could be up to age 21. But the school bus stops coming and families fall off the cliff. And that visual is very, very hard to hear and then to internalize. So at Aaron's Acres, we just expanded the ages of our participants to age 40. So, which means that, you know, people can continue to come to our program and engage in meaningful activities. With that addition in, you know, adding the ages, we hired a program coordinator, a staff member who had been with us for 8 years. She is now on our admin team full time, and she is running that program. So we're going to have year round, during the day, during the year, programs for those individuals who finish high school, who are not getting the job right now and not getting the volunteer opportunity. A lot of the people that attend Aaron's Acres do have more physical, behavioral, and cognitive challenges. So it might be more challenging for them right now to get that full-time job or even a part-time job or a part-time volunteer opportunity. So we're providing those meaningful activities and programs where they have that opportunity to socialize, interact, and be part of the community. And Kate can expand more on the programs.
Yeah, so I think maybe we were just getting started with some of the programs for this age group when we talked with you last, but we've added a flag football and cheerleading program in the fall. And then in the spring, we do a recreational sports program where we try all different kinds of sports, soccer, basketball, floor hockey, those kinds of things. And yeah, like Risa said, it's a chance for our older individuals to come together with their friends, to be active, to be social. And also the parents get to hang out while the session's going on too and connect and share. So those programs have been going on now, I guess 3 years, going on 4. And so we're thrilled to have those programs as part of our offerings. And then most recently, we've added a program called Kindness Connections, where this older age group, the individuals are going out into the community and doing community service projects. So we've already partnered with quite a few nonprofit organizations in the community, Girls on the Run, the Fulton Theater, Lancaster Food Hub, and we've done a variety of projects with the different nonprofits. You know, we've done mailings, we've polished brass at the Fulton Theater. We have helped sort food donations, clothing donations, things like that. So that program's been moving along really well, and we're excited to expand that. And then we also have a program called Social Scene. So that allows our participants a chance to be social, to be together with friends, with peers, in a safe environment, in a supported environment. And we take field trips in the community and do a variety of activities together. We've done bowling, we've done karaoke, we've visited, local museums, the Central Market. So they get to go out and do lots of different types of things together, which has been really well received as well. We've also added some family programs, which are not all for, the older individuals, but older age group, like 13 through 21, with families. So we get to give families the chance to participate in a cooking program and an art program, and do kind of those activities together with their children. So that's been a really neat experience too, to offer those programs. So yeah, so we've been busy for sure.
Sounds like it. Really, really cool how you've expanded the support to age 40, and the different programs like cooking, music. I love the polishing brass. So you're talking about like the trumpets and stuff, right?
So no, like in the theater, the railings and things like that in the Fulton Theater. Yeah. And then they got a backstage tour, which was also really exciting for our participants. So yeah.
I would imagine for some of your participants in your programming, the polishing, they got that perfect.
Yes.
And loved every minute of making it perfect, I'd imagine. Yeah. Question on the flag football. You didn't punish these people by giving them silver and blue colors, did you?
Jeff is not a Cowboys fan.
So we do have a very, very competitive, mean game of football. We almost had to call the police once because it was the Cowboys versus the Eagles. No, I'm kidding about the police, but it just gets pretty, aggressive, I would say. Each team is very, like, one team won't even say the name of the other team. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's really never anything not in reach.
Right.
I was going to mention in the show intro, Jeff, the Super Bowl came and went in this time you were away, and we never got a chance to celebrate it on Lancaster Connects like we often talk about the Eagles. So we'll have to do that sometime.
Yeah, just as an aside, that's all, and this goes to what I challenged our listeners to appreciate what you are blessed with. All my wife wanted and we wanted, because my wife likes football too, was to watch it at home, not be in the hospital.
Yeah,
right, of course.
And we got that. But then we were right back on the Monday after. But we got to watch it at home, and I think those blessings are what people really need to, keep in mind. And when you pay attention to what you all are doing at Aaron's Acres, I think you can really see, if you're able to go about your life without needing the amazing support, the amazing programming, man, you're beyond blessed, and you need to use those talents that you've been given to help our community, help your neighbor, help your friend that might not just have the same blessings that you have, but they're blessed in a different way. But you need to use them in a positive way. It's a great update on the program. Summer's around the corner. What do we got that's new and different about summer camp?
So we have our camp program for the 5 to 21, which has been a constant, and that's our biggest program. But again, if we're thinking about adding this other group, the older population, they didn't have a camp program. So this summer, we're starting with a very small pilot program for the 21 to 40-year-olds. It's only 3 days a week for 2 weeks. Whenever we've started a new program at Aaron's Acres, we start small and make sure we have it on the way we want before we expand. But we're very, very excited to be offering that additional program for that age group. So they'll be going out, doing a lot of outings. We're going to be going swimming and then just going out into the community, but always doing meaningful, age-appropriate activities.
Very cool.
I have a follow-up question about that and also the program expansion itself for 18 to 40-year-olds. You mentioned that families often fall off a cliff, right? When the 21-year-olds graduate out of the program, right? So what does that mean for these 21 to 40-year-olds, for the families, to have these programs available. What does that mean for them?
So interesting. So we have a board member who just stepped down as a board member, still very active. Her term was up, but she had a son who attended our program for probably 16 years, and then had to age out of our program because we stopped at 21. And then now he's back in the program, and they went to Spooky Nook and they were doing rock climbing. And she and her husband posted on Facebook that they were crying to see their son back at Aaron's Acres, back at home with his friends. For a lot of the young people, they don't have those social interactions. So picture a young person who's used to going to school every day, seeing his friends, seeing his teacher, maybe going on a school bus, and everything stops. And oftentimes parents are the only ones interacting with this young person. And just like we want that socialization, we want that interaction. All people want those types of interactions. For them not to have that, one parent said to us, "My child has no purpose." And again, I think about my kids, or I think about just anyone. You want to make sure everyone has a purpose and everyone can have a purpose. So by providing these opportunities, we're sending a message. Yes, you should be with your friends and not always with mom and dad. And yes, you can give back. And yes, you're part of a bigger community. So there's a tremendous amount of support, stimulation, and interaction that goes on also for the parents. The parents don't feel as isolated because they're now interacting with other people. So the mental health of the whole family improves based on having more programs and more meaning in everyone's lives.
So that one example, taking the I don't know how old the person was, but taking them to Spooky Nook.
Yeah.
If the parents took that person to Spooky Nook on their own, that person wouldn't be able to do the rock climbing likely. It's the fact that you're there providing the additional support needed to help that activity occur safely and properly. That's all the difference, right?
But yeah, and I think also, like, if we're there and we have other participants, the parents realize that everyone gets it. So, what if my son screams? If I'm there with my son alone, it feels very awkward and uncomfortable. But with Aaron's Acres, John's going to scream 1 second, and Mary's going to scream another second, and we all get it. It's part of our culture. It's part of our acceptance of everyone. So I think it's also overwhelming for a parent to take their young adult to a place like that by themselves. What if it doesn't work? Where here we have, again, that ratio. It's a little bit different for the older population, but we still have staff. We still have a staff that's trained, that knows how to manage those types of behaviors.
And I think the social aspect, the connection with the peers, right?
Yeah.
They're able to be there with their friends doing an activity too, and then have that to share about, when they see other people or they go home, for them to feel that, oh, I did something kind of on my own with my friends, feeling a little more independent.
Yeah.
So that's really, important too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
When you say you're creating these spaces that are safe, inclusive, that's really the heart of it. It's connecting with somebody that is like them, right? I mean, I don't know if you want to call it tribalism, but like if you're an Eagles fan, you don't want to go to a Cowboys bar.
Right.
You ride Harley motorcycles. You don't want to ride. You're generally not going to ride with the folks that are on the ninjas, right? It doesn't make any one party bad, except those Cowboys fans. No, just kidding. You can love your team. I've often shared that. But it's just how it goes, right? And again, I think that's one of those things you can easily take for granted in your day. That what if your thing was taken away from you,
right?
And you're here providing it, and really, all of that happens because you have such great benefactors, great people that support you. That community support being so vital. Are there any new partnerships, collaborations, people you want to highlight and give a shout out to?
Yeah. So, I mean, first, just kind of community connections, community partnerships that we've had and that have been growing are related to our newer programs. We're just so fortunate to have the support of other locations in the community where we can host a lot of our programs. We don't have a big physical space that is only ours yet. So having Mannheim Brethren in Christ Church and Lancaster Brethren in Christ Church serve as locations for our sports programs for our adult group has been really so important. And we are so grateful for those partnerships. And then the New Holland Community Park and Pool, which we mentioned earlier with summer camp, they've just been so welcoming. We had to switch locations a couple years back, and they welcomed us with open arms. And the entire New Holland community, I have to say, has been so welcoming and, just so supportive of us and what we're doing. We've been able to connect with a lot of different nonprofit organizations and businesses in that community, and we're just so thankful to have those relationships. And then as far as funding goes, I mean, we just continue to be blown away by the support of our community as a whole, providing support for our programs and our participants. But Jersey Mike's continues to do their day of giving and their month of giving, and we were the beneficiaries of those again this year with our local stores, our local franchise owner. That was back in April. So yeah, we've just been so grateful for that partnership continuing to grow, as well as with Mannheim Auto Auction. They've actually really been supportive of us the last 2 years, and just hosted an event back in March, and we were the beneficiary of that. So yeah, we just are continuously blown away by the amount of support that comes from our community. But yeah, those are just a few highlights, and we wish we could take the time to recognize everyone, but yeah, we just couldn't do what we do without the support of everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think our team constantly and our board of directors, we all know we would not be where we are today and not be able to do the type of expansion that we're engaging in now and hoping to do more in the future without the community support and the financial support that's all around us. We are where we are because of all those relationships and connections.
Yeah. And I see there on the screen your EITC linked up, which is great. I was bemoaning the cost of tax burden to Ben earlier today. And so if you're a business, if you don't know what that program is and you're have been known to be bemoaning your tax liability, EITC is fantastic because you can direct about upwards of 90% of your state tax liability to an approved educational format like Aaron's Acres. It's not that you're reducing taxes. It's just you're getting a say on where your taxes go. And so talk with your accountant. It's not all that hard. There is some paperwork. I think I saw you have some instructions there. It's simple, but if you're adverse to paperwork, you might think it's burdensome. It's really not. But it's a really great way to direct your tax dollars away from state coffers where you might not know where it's going. You might not be connected to all the mission of it all. Those dollars go right to Aaron's Acres. And that's a great thing because you can see the joy on these kids' faces. You can see it in the photos. You can see the programming expand. And where that tax dollars are going. EITC is a fantastic program. Actually, it was over last summer. There was talk of taking that away. I don't know if you knew that, Kate and Risa.
They were going to restrict it, right?
Yeah.
There was going to be worse. Yeah.
I actually got on the horn with, because one of our other guests, Swan for Kids, is I think almost all of their funding is derived from EITC. And I said, you can't do this. I got on the phone with the state sponsor or the state rep who was sponsoring the bill, Joe Searcy out of Montgomery County. Probably one of the best conversations I had with a politician ever. Even though we don't necessarily align in all ways, but I just explained to him from the heart, like, here's where this money goes. And, it just so happened he is big into music. That was his major in college.
Oh, wow.
Music and theater, I believe.
Yeah.
And so just in that dialogue, able to make a great connection for Diana at Swan for Kids. But I share this long-windedly to say, it's a great EITC is a great program. If you're a business, know somebody has a business, ask them, do you have state tax liability? If they say yes, because some people run their books where there's zero profit. So if you're doing that, or you're upstart and don't have profit, you're not going to have state tax liability. But if you do, and you want to see your dollars get back to your community, Aaron's Acres would be a tremendous recipient of those dollars. And they have a helpful link on their site.
Thank you. And thank you for advocating for the funding. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so Chris has had that on the screen, the website, aaronsacres.org. Thank you for talking about the sponsors. The sponsors are listed on your website. So as a community, the watchers, the listeners, the watchers, we should support those who support these organizations. So definitely check out the Aaron's Acres sponsors and support them. And of course, there's other ways to get involved, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about, or wanted to see if you could share, maybe each of you share a moment from maybe this past year or past couple years. Risa, you shared about the rock climbing story and the participant and family that benefited from that program. But maybe you each have a story or two that really had an impact on you personally from an Aaron's Acres participant.
I just really think about the conversations that we have back at the office. Madison, our new program coordinator, as Risa mentioned, we recently hired her, and she's been working on the programs for the older individuals that we serve. And just hearing her come back and share stories, of our participants interacting with each other, those conversations that are happening that don't typically happen so easily or organically for our participants. Part of what we do at Aaron's Acres is encourage socialization and communication and the growth of those skills. And so just to hear her share about our participants who don't typically, interact much, often it's kind of a quiet, time or maybe they keep to themselves more often, or maybe they're very anxious about interacting and initiating conversation. Just to hear about those interactions, that those things are happening, and they're asking each other about their favorite video game, or, oh, do you have a dog too? Those simple kind of conversations, but like for our participants, it's not always easy. And it doesn't come as naturally. So for me, that's so powerful to hear that those outings that they're taking, those projects they're working on, they're doing those things, but at the same time, they're interacting with their peers and they're becoming more comfortable and they're building friendships. To me, that's just so meaningful. And I know how good that must make them feel. So I love those stories. And I just think that, most recently with our newer programs, those things are happening so much, and which is so exciting.
Yeah, Madison shared one story where one of the young gentlemen was very good at bowling, and it was clear another young man had some difficulty. And without anyone prompting, the man that was very good at bowling just went over and said, "Here, I can help you." And Madison described her eyes filled up with tears. She had to just like swallow and keep moving on. But to have that interaction, again, you and I might do that hopefully for each other. For our kids, it's so hard sometimes to take that step. And without prompting or anything, he just went over and offered help in that way. Those types of moments we cherish all the time. And when Madison comes back from the events or during camp, we talk about those types of things, and it's just really, we don't take any of it for granted, and we feel grateful that it is occurring within our programs.
Yeah, it's amazing stories, amazing programs. I love the fact that you've been able to expand above 21, because like you said, these families, fall off the cliff, right? I love that a lot of these stories that you're sharing now are from participants in that program over that age and just growing when they might not have been before without the programming. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
The organization, it started 27 years ago, just a funny story. And so when we started, it was like 5 to 9 year olds, and that was it. And I was there and, I was working from home, and my husband said to me, "So what's going to happen when they turn 10? And I said, "We're just doing 5 to 9. Like, we can't just keep 5 to 9. That's it." And he'd hear me on the phone answering when, parents would call, and parent called and said, "Well, now my son is turning 10. What do we do?" So I said, "Oh, we expand the age to 10. And so I got off the phone, and my husband said, "That's great, Reese. You really stuck to your guns, and you stuck with 5 to 9. And then we went to 21, and now we're up to 40. And so, my husband and the team was, joking around, like, when are we opening up the Senior Citizen Center? But we're not there yet. But we are, our whole team, our board of directors, and I think the community, I think we're really getting a lot of positive feedback, and we feel good that we continually try to respond to what parents are asking for.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think with all the growth that we've done over the years, it's always because parents have asked for more. We can't always do it, but we try our best to say, what else could we be doing at this point?
Yeah. It's almost as if, do you feel you've had kind of like a pioneering effort in the creation of inclusive programming, growing it? And do you think people have realized it and seen it?
I think people are seeing that we're committed to families and trying to do the best that we can to provide more meaningful programs. So I think in that way, I think people appreciate that we're not the experts, the parents are. And in listening to the parents and trying to understand what the needs are, I think we do a good job of responding in a way that really gives comfort and security to the families.
Yeah.
And everybody has a good time. And like you said, there's joy.
Yeah. Yeah. And, to kind of circle this back to what some of our listeners and watchers might not understand, might not feel, as somebody who's just differently abled, going to church with my wife since we've been able, the last month or so, we sit in the handicap spots and she's in her wheelchair and I'm beside her in the seat beside her. And then everybody stands up.
Mm.
And now we're just looking at everybody's backs. And, again, I'm not saying that and I'm not sharing that to complain. I'm sharing it as an example of what can get taken when you're just differently abled.
Right.
You just don't get to enjoy things the same way that everybody else does. You just can't go to the pool. You just can't go to Spooky Nook and climb a rock wall, even if you really, really wanted to.
Right. Right.
And so, what's the answer to all that? Well, the answer to that is the exact programming that you're doing and have continued to expand. So thank you for that. And I think it takes an appreciation for those little moments to have things taken from you, I guess I would say, and just realize you'll get it back.
Mm-hmm.
But some people won't.
Mm-hmm.
And now imagine your day, your week, your month, the years of your life. That's just every day. And really be fortunate for that. Yeah.
The parents will say on the first day of camp for returning camper, we're known for our yellow t-shirts. So returning campers on the first day, they'll wear that yellow t-shirt. So parents will say 6 o'clock in the morning, the kid is standing at the end of the bed going camp. And parents say, my kid has such a hard time all year transitioning from home to go to school. Everything's a hassle, a fight to brush your teeth, get dressed. And parents say, like, just to see their kid at 6 o'clock in the morning ready for camp. They said they'd prefer if it was a little bit later because camp doesn't start till 9. But, for them to have that moment where the kid is happy and they're not struggling and they're not fighting and the kid is ready to leave and then gets to camp and in 2 seconds is out of the car. Of course we have our kids that might be a little bit harder. But for these parents to experience, my kid wants to go and he's okay. Again, I think so many of us take for granted, yeah, my kid's going to go to camp and have a good time. I just think there are different challenges that these parents face, and for them to have that experience feels really good.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So obviously none of this happens without the support of the community. We've talked a little bit about that. Can you share with us some upcoming events that you have, and also talk a little bit about some of the ways that the Lancaster community can support Aaron's Acres, maybe volunteering? We've talked on the show before, time, talent, and treasure, right? Obviously donations are welcome. Maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the fundraising efforts that are going on at Aaron's Acres.
Yeah, sure. So next up is our annual golf outing. So we're thrilled to be celebrating the 15th anniversary of our golf tournament. And it's our biggest fundraiser for the year. And it was started by a former board member. And we have it at Bend Creek Country Club, and it's happening on June 9th this year. So we're really looking forward to that event. So certainly that is kind of in the final stages of planning. So there's not too much more opportunity to sign up, but we, definitely are looking forward to a great day with that event. And then over the summer, we have lots of opportunities to kind of come out and engage with us. We have volunteer opportunities to help us with taking pictures of our campers at camp. And then we use those pictures to put together memory books. The campers actually do that as a project at the end of their session. And then they have those keepsake memory books to take home with them. and look back and remember all the fun they had at camp. So last summer we had over 150 volunteers that came out. And so this summer we're going to need about the same amount of people. So we're now in the process of signing up for time slots. So people can sign up for a morning shift or an afternoon shift. It's actually a great opportunity for groups to come together, like a corporate group or a service group. And we try to find a date and time that works. And then we provide the cameras and you just come out and you follow a group around during camp and take pictures of the kids doing all the fun things. So that's a really big volunteer need that we have currently. We also have visitors days during camp where we welcome the community in and we provide a tour so you can kind of see what we're all about and get that firsthand experience of witnessing the joy of camp. So we'd welcome anyone to join us. And those dates will be made available soon. So they're in June, June and July. We wrap up the first right at August 1st is our last day of camp. So it's mainly June and July. And then, we have other events happening throughout the year. We have a resource fair that's happening in August at Manor Church on August 23rd. And we will need volunteer support for that. And also we're welcoming organizations. We have probably over 20 organizations who'll be with us with informational tables. We have family fun activities that'll be happening. We'll have food trucks. So that'll be a great day. We'd love the community to join us for that. And then we participate in the Extra Give every year. That's another main fundraiser for us. And it's a big day in November, and we're looking forward to it again. We do need extra hands that day, but also would certainly appreciate anyone's consideration with supporting us through that event too. So yeah, we've got a lot of ways to, kind of work together, and we'd love to hear from anyone.
I had to get, I don't know if I was on screen there when you shared about the Extra Give Day. So that was the weekend before my wife got sick, and she was already exhibiting some signs of a little bit of issue. And I was at one of these Extra Give parties and may or may not have had a few too many bourbons. But in the assessing of all that, what came home with me is I bid on a bunch of bourbon. I realized I bid myself up on the same bottle at opposite ends of the table.
Oh boy.
And I won them both. So you can go to these parties and support Aaron's Acres. You can donate time. Obviously don't get sloppy at the parties. Don't do that. But no, it's those things are always a lot of fun. The Extra Give, the Lancaster community really puts on a tremendous show of supporting great people. Yeah. So, Ben, did you have something there?
I was just going to say, Kate, all of the events and volunteer opportunities, they're all on the website. I know we said aaronsacres.org/news-events for people that might be listening on the podcast players and not watching. So definitely, if you're led to help, go to the website, look at all the opportunities that are there.
Yeah, I would say just reach out to me too, individually, because we don't put all of our volunteer, time slots and things out there. So, I would just encourage anyone to reach out to me directly if they're interested too. So yeah.
If you're like a church youth group or somebody leading youth or somebody leading a team at a company that's got some time that they want to direct for donating hours, would that be a good reason to call you, kind of come up with a custom brewed approach to using up those hours, teaching those young people, hey, here's how you're really blessed.
Sure.
Here's how other people live life. That would be a good way to reach out to you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have other special events that are happening, some during camp, with a carnival that we do for our participants too, where we need extra hands. So yeah, we always have lots of opportunities that I can kind of work with groups individually too, to figure out what might be the best fit. So yeah, definitely. We love to talk with anyone.
Awesome.
Yeah, we love bringing the community into our programs. Really create the connections, break down those barriers, let people understand we're all the same. Some of us need more accommodations and some of us need more support, but creating that understanding and connections is what we're all about.
Yeah. So our last question for you about what's on the horizon, long-term goals, dreams that you're working towards. I don't want to bias your answer. I'm pretty sure you all have an answer. You're very focused on the program you give. As I'm sitting here listening, And I'm reflecting locally, our school has run now. My son's freshman football coach spearheaded this as he's in special education for the school, the unified games.
Yep.
Sounds a lot like what you do at camp, parts of what you do at camp. And if you pay attention, your school, if you're listening, watching, your school might be starting to do unified games. And I think it's pretty eye-opening for the teachers who do know they do know their kids and they do care deeply about their kids. They just have to lead their kids differently in a classroom because it's a classroom. It's not the field of play. It's not outside. But I think what people are seeing through unified games is almost like an awakening of these kids that are in front of them the rest of the year. And as I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm wondering, is your model of education for these learners and these kids, is that something that could be put in front of them every day? Wouldn't that be a big dream?
I would love it. Yeah, I think the more that we can bring people together and help them to understand about each other and their abilities and their challenges, it makes for a stronger community for everyone. So bringing the young people into our community is profound. And when we start younger, I think there are less biases and there's less discomfort. I think as we get older, sometimes we develop more of that discomfort. So I think, again, I go back to what I said. I think creating more relationships and opportunities for connections benefits everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I didn't want to bias your answer. I asked the question, then I kind of answered it for you. Is there something specific you're working on long term that you can share, or is that's just your ethos? Like, we want to do more.
Well, yeah, I mean, long term, I mean, we are looking for a property, a location for, to have Aaron's Acres have a home where we can do all of our programs in one place. I think, like I mentioned earlier, we're out in the community with our programs at all different locations, which is wonderful. And we love those relationships, but also, we're a bit limited as far as scheduling and things like that goes and staffing. And I think we could really continue to expand if we had a space that would allow for it. Yes, we hope to kind of be like, our vision is kind of like something like a community Y setting, but for individuals with different needs. A place where they can participate in daily activities, music, yoga, fitness, cooking, art, all of it in one place, and be able to pick and choose what they want to do based on their interests, and to have a full, more staff, with us year round, would be wonderful and would just create that, continuity and just a fuller calendar of activities for our participants, and to be a community where they can come and hang out and spend time with friends, and relax and feel welcomed, in their space, and have some more independence that way, where we're still there to support, but they get to kind of run the show a little bit and pick and choose what they want to be involved in. And to welcome the community in. We envision having partners with us there whenever we have the new space, and not just having it be about Aaron's Acres, but having it be about the community coming together to create a supportive environment. So yeah, so we're excited for what's to come. We're continuing to add to our programs like we've shared, and want to keep doing that. So yeah.
So if you're connected to commercial real estate, know somebody who is a developer, maybe you own some property that is shifting in its uses. If you have the means, the connections, the know-how to will into existence what Kate just shared and what Risa have shared, and you've seen what we've had on the website and you've heard, I'll put it out there. Let's make a connection happen as a result of our time here today, because that would be just incredible. And for what you just said, a place where they get to call home. Mm-hmm. So if your local bars where you meet up with your friends and buddies on the weekend, if your local coffee shop is where you meet up with your mom's club or your girlfriends, like, that's your place.
Right.
And
right.
You get to go and there's the conventional normal things you do there, and it's all very comfortable. And
yeah,
Aaron's Acres would give that to the people they serve. It'd be very special to bring that through. So I wasn't that far off to say if you would bring Aaron's Acres to the everyday learning environment.
Right. No. Yeah.
It'd be tremendous help. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be an amazing goal to see a reach. It would be.
Yeah.
Whoever that would be our best friend. So that's just putting it out there.
You'll have that. You'll have that. Ladies, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks for having us today.
Yeah, we talked a lot about who you serve and all the great stuff you do at Aaron's Acres, but maybe there's a connection we can have to you all through the Connection Cocktail. Oh, look, this is new too. Look at those guys.
I don't know who they are. Chris found them somewhere on the internet, I think.
Yeah. All right, Ben, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, sure. So let's see. First question. Maybe a book, a podcast, or a TV show you're really into now. Risa, you can go first.
So I have been watching with my husband White Collar.
Oh, okay.
It is so good. It's funny, but it's also just really intriguing. My husband is harder to please. And so when you know that he likes the show, you know it's a good show. We don't have to fight about what we're watching. We both have really, really enjoyed it.
And what's that on? Is that on one of the streaming networks, or is that on
Netflix?
Netflix, okay. White Collar.
Yeah.
Have to check it out.
Yeah. Kate,
same question.
Yeah, so I said to somebody in the office, it might have been Risa, but I said, I don't have much free time. I have two girls, they're into a ton of activities and sports and whatever, so I don't really have much time to read or listen to podcasts or even watch TV, but my husband and I have enjoyed Conan O'Brien Must Go recently.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he just came out with like a new season, and he goes and travels abroad and visits people that call into his podcast and surprises people, and he gets into the culture, and he's just so funny. So we've enjoyed watching him.
Conan is my spirit animal. He's always just been wild and wacky, and I remember him from being a teenager with his late night show. So everything he does is hysterical. So that's pretty cool.
I agree.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Dream vacation. What's your dream vacation spot?
Ooh.
So I have not been, but everyone I know who goes raves about going to Alaska and having these incredible excursions. So that is on our bucket list.
Very good.
Yeah, and I think so. I've been to Hawaii, but my girls really want to go, and my husband has never been. So that would be my top of my list, to make it to Hawaii with the family. And it's just such a beautiful place, and it's one of our states, and it's just so unique, and the culture there is so unique. So yeah, I would love to go with my family one day.
That's really cool. Do you have young children, older children?
So I have a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Okay.
They would be 13 and 16. So yeah.
I almost have a 16-year-old as well.
It's a little stressful, right?
Yep. Well, they're at the ages where they would totally love everything about Hawaii. That's a place I would love to travel as well.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Last question. Favorite local spot in Lancaster? It could be coffee shop. We often talk about restaurants, park, maybe hidden gem. That's not any one of those three items. What's your favorite destination in Lancaster?
So I'm breaking the rule. I have two.
Hey, that's all right.
Okay.
We make the rules here, so it's cool.
Okay.
It's cool.
So I love Southern Market. I think the vibe there is just this warm, welcome. You talk about community, right? Like you have all these different vendors. It's a great space. So I love that. And then I love going to Yorgi's for a meal.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Really.
I think that's maybe 2 shows in a row that somebody's mentioned, that a guest has mentioned Southern Market.
Yorgi's.
So.
Yeah, it's excellent food. And they have upstairs on the top is a outdoor area, seating area, so you can have dinner outside. It's beautiful. It's really nice.
That's cool. Kate, same question.
Yeah, so my family loves Mad Chef in East Petersburg. So, they do their own beer and whatever, but also have like kids stuff, and, their menus got a great variety. So for the 4 of us, my family, to agree on somewhere can be challenging.
That's important.
So when we mention Mad Chef, the French fries, the soft pretzels with the dips and stuff, like everyone's in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love it there.
That's great. I think one of our employees here at Gardner's was at Mad Chef yesterday, so that's
Yeah.
cool. It's a popular spot.
Was that
Yeah.
Drew? Had to be Drew.
And 100%.
Yeah.
You know our guys.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
great.
thank you both for playing
Yes,
along
thank you.
with our Connection Cocktail, and thank you for being a two-timer on Lancaster Connects. This was great to reconnect and share all the updates and the great things that you're doing at Aaron's Acres.
Well, thank you so much for highlighting us and giving us the opportunity to share our story. So we really appreciate your work. Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're happy to.
Thank you, ladies. Yeah.
Have a
lot
great
of
rest of the
fun.
afternoon. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye. Bye.
Yeah. So a lot of fun with them at aaronsacres.org. That's, or as the comedy skit would say, aaronacres.org.
Those are
Right.
two other of my favorite guys, Key and
Was that
Peele. Oh my gosh.
Key and Peele sketch. But no, it's
Yeah.
not Aaron. It's Aaron's Acres. aaronsacres.org. Check out everything they're doing. I mean, really helping people that need it. And I mean, you saw the journey, right? Expanding from ages just 5 to 9 up to age 40.
It's unbelievable.
They've got a vision and they're making it happen. And I think that's something to, right? Like, when you're looking to maybe hitch your wagon to a charity, especially if you're going to do as a business the EITC thing, you probably want to know that there's forward movement, that there's forward progress. And I think when you look across what Aaron's Acres has done, you can see it's not just 5 to 9-year-olds anymore. It's up to age 40. And you can see there's forward vision and there's actual things happening. So they're doing wonderful work there. If you can support them, please do.
Yeah. Built from the ground up. I can't imagine the countless amount of hours that Risa and Kate and others have put into the program.
Yep.
To get it not only off the ground, but to get it to where it is now, and really the families that it supports. It's just an unbelievable undertaking. So kudos to them.
Yep.
Well, hey man, welcome back. This has been
good to be
fantastic to have you back on the show. We've got a milestone coming up. We've got a 200th episode next month. We're going to have some fun on that show.
We've got Memorial Day cooking right now.
Yes, we do. We
do.
do.
Did I take the wind out of your sails there?
No, please go for it. Go for it.
Well, it's May. It's Memorial Day. That means there's mattress sales, kind of like burgers and hot dogs for the weekend, right? I mean, first of all, let's not lose sight of what the holiday is for. Yeah. It's for those that have paid the ultimate price for our amazing nation. And so how mattresses got involved with that, please don't shoot the messenger or the mattress sales guys. Trust us. If we could just sell mattresses every day at our everyday low price every day, we would be happy to do that. But hey, we've got Memorial Day mattress sales. And take some time though this weekend coming up to be grateful for the nation we live in, be grateful for the people that have provided for our freedoms with that ultimate price of sacrificing their lives for our nation. That's important. We actually have that message on our sales page. So fly the flag high that day, take it down in bad weather. We fly it at night, put some light on it, and remember those people that have provided for us. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say there on the mattress buying side. Hey, if it is time, if you're waking up sore and you're stiff and you're just not feeling great, sleep is powerful. It's that third leg of a life well lived. It's diet, it's exercise, and it's sleep. And a mattress can be a great foundation to support all three of those things. And we can help you with the right fit, help you find your favorite mattress, and guarantee it with our Wake Up Happy Comfort Guarantee.
It's like you never left, man.
Some things, the weight
right
loss, the weight loss is new. The beard's a little new. Got some extra grays that are new, but man, hustling mattresses has been my career, I guess.
It's in the blood, as they say.
That's right.
That's
right.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'll just wrap it up with a little.
See, I forgot that part.
little testimonial time here. Just a real simple one. This came in. I just opened this piece of mail about 2 hours ago. Charlene, customer from Gardner's. Of course, Gardner's Mattress and More is the sponsor of Lancaster Connects, and it is the business that I co-own with Jeff. I now get to say he's on the screen here with me. For the last 6 months, haven't been able to say that, and I've missed that. But of course, we help you wake up happy every morning. We've got our educational guides, like our Sleep Better book, which you can get on our website or in person. We'll give you free copies there. There you go. But we get some, our customers are fantastic, and they humble us with some kind words. Some people mail in their testimonial, their handwritten testimonial here. And again, this is Charlene. So thank you, Charlene, for your business. She just said she had an excellent overall experience, and she would refer others to us, which is really the highest form of appreciation or flattery. I don't know what the right word is there, but for people to trust us enough, not only with their own sleep, but their friends and family and coworkers sleep as well, that means the world to us. And they appreciated their professional sales rep. So we are not just a lot of other competitors, let's call them, call themselves professionals, right? Sleep mattress professionals, whatever. But a lot of times that's just an empty advertising promise and an empty suit, right? We follow through on it. So professional the whole way through, from your first visit on our website, first visit here in the store, to the last interaction in the home with our delivery and service team. Sean and John follow through on that experience for you. So thank you to Charlene for the kind words, and to all of our customers. You see some of them there on the Google machine who have given us some great words. So appreciate y'all.
Yeah, love our customers. And, our ethos in operating system on people that send us referrals and give us reviews is, we have a lot of reviews online, in store, like the one Ben held up. None of that matters if you don't get that 5-star experience, right? So it'd be kind of silly of us to puff our chest out about the 15 years in a row, Reader's Choice favorite, which voting is open for that. If you could earn your vote, we'd appreciate it. But none of that matters if you don't get that 5-star experience. Yep. So that's very, very front of mind for us, for our team, whether that's in the store or in your home with our delivery team. It's in the equipment we own and maintain. It's in the products that we offer. It's in the services that we extend. It's all about living up to that bar that we set very high for ourselves. And it has to happen every time. Otherwise, it just looks silly. And I feel we're very good at that. And if now's the time, we'd love to be able to help you with a new mattress.
Yep. We re-earn that reputation every day.
Every door swing. Customer. Yep. Every door swing, every phone ring. So, man, it's good to be back in the saddle with Lancaster Connects, with our amazing guests. It was fun to have Aaron's Acres on. I would think that was poetic in a way. Yep. And happy to be back with you all here on Lancaster Connects, and with you, buddy.
Yeah, next week is going to be a special show. Gardner's recently had a really cool recognition from the city of Lancaster. So won't tease it any more than that. But next week's show at 2:00, you'll get to see what that recognition was. It was very special for Jeff and I, and for Gardner's as an organization. We've been around for 35 years, and it was really cool, pretty cool and touching. So we're going to have a great conversation next week about that, Monday at 2:00, just like every Monday at 2:00 here on Lancaster Connect. So, and you want to send it off, bud?
Until the next connection. Next week on Lancaster Connects. Comments of this quote through the roof. So there you go.